Hi, this will be my first tutorial, so no hate and no judgments, because it's going to be a little bit rough. So, this tutorial is going to be for gems, as in gems from Steven Universe. I'm going to be doing a lot of them. I can't specify, like, list off each and every single one of them, because I just, pulled whatever I could off of Google. So, I guess I'm Kay, if y'all don't know that already. So let's go ahead and start with what you're going to need to do this. So you're going to need some scissors. I have a bigger pair. I wish I would have had my smaller pair with me, but I do not. I also have a exacto-blade. This one's a little bit different than some regular ones, but it's going to work for what I need it for. Diamond glaze, super helpful here. You can get that from, like, basically any craft store, same with scissors and obviously an X-Acto. This is called Bead Landing, and they're found objects. You can find this over by Jewelry in Michael's. They're supposed to be used for bottle caps, but I'm going to be using these for these circular shaped gems. And then this, it's by Tim Holtz, Ideology. They're called Fragments, and they're kind of like square shapes. I'm going to be using the scissors to cut them so that way they fit the oval shapes as well. So like pearls, lapises, which is like a teardrop shape, and paradots, which is kind of like a triangle-y type thing. And that you can find at Michael's over by like scrapbooking and like those kind of things. So that's almost it. You're also going to need to print out a ton of these. I printed out several different sizes because I wasn't entirely sure which sizes would fit the shapes. So if you just go to Google, you can find these like anywhere on Google. I just typed in Steven Universe gems, and there was one that came up with like Homeworld gems, and then I found a couple of these, and like I said, I printed a couple different sizes so that way, I'd have them in case I needed them. So obviously the first thing you're going to have to do is cut out all the gems. So let's do that. And you can cut them out individually, or you can cut them out, like you could cut them out one at a time and then go right to doing it, or you can cut them out all at once and then go do it. Yeah. Okay, So I cut them out in the smallest size for right now. I may or may not cut out some of the bigger ones later. But I think I'm going to start with, let's see. I think I'm going to start out with the circular ones first, for sure. So you're going to need your found objects. So the little circular things that I told you to find at Michael's over by the jewelry. And they're kind of like stick-on tabs. Like I said, they're made for like putting on bottle caps, but I'm using them for this, obviously. So I kind of did like a rough cutout of each of them. I didn't cut them all exactly to a T. So if you didn't do, if you did do that, then you don't need to do it right now. But I'm doing that now. Like I said, I didn't want to do them all right then and there. Just so that way, you know, it was a lot faster and wasn't as time consuming. So you're going to take, you know, whatever one you choose to do first, and then you're going to peel the found object off of the little sticker there, and then you will attach it to your gem very carefully. So you can see, I'll trim the edges whenever I'm done, you know, but it does have the 3D effect to it. The way that I'm going to attach these when I start wearing them, or how I'm going to explain when I sell these, because I'm not going to be using all of these, obviously, I'm probably going to attach them using eyelash glue. Would work pretty well. It'll work on skin, and it won't damage your skin. If it's like amethyst gem, you might want to choose something a little different. Just make sure it's, you know, not gonna hurt your skin, not gonna tear your skin. You could always get there's like those stickers that you use to like help keep your bra on. If you're female, you know about those. You can find those pretty much at any general store, Target, Walmart, blah blah. So yeah, there's one, and I will do the rest of the circle ones, and then we'll move on to the other shapes. Now, I've come to the point where they have started slipping off, as you can see. If that happens, that is exactly what your diamond glaze is for. So you're going to take this, you're going to put a teeny little drop on the center of whatever piece it is there that you're struggling with. So try not to put too much on there, because otherwise, you know, you're kind of screwed. Sometimes it's a little hard when you're struggling with the diamond glaze. Like, I'm telling you, it's going to be a little difficult. So, see, I can't even get the lid off, man. Don't do that. Do not do that. If you get a new bottle, then you'll be fine. But if you have a bottle like that, have somebody a little stronger than you open it. You can always use the cap to dip it in there to get a little bit out. You can always dump it onto something like a flat surface or something of the like. For mine, I'm using a flat surface. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the tip of this, put it onto the center of the gem, spread it around a little bit, set that back down, and then press it back on there. Now, if you press it back on there the right way, there should not be any air bubbles. If there is air bubbles, you need to make sure that you smooth them out, because otherwise they're going to show up on the gem later. So, this is how that turned out after using the diamond glaze to reattach it, because obviously I was struggling a bit. You'll also use the diamond glaze a little later when you get to the other shape, like the other shape gems. So obviously pearls, jaspers, lapises, etc., etc. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up with the rest of these, and then we will move on to those. Okay, so now that I am done with those, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I could not name all of those for you to tell you exactly whose is whose. So I do have a couple left of these, which is super great in case they break, or I lose it, or whatever other reason. You know, like if I want to make double of one, obviously garnets, you need 2 of those, etc., etc. Okay, so now moving on to the other shaped gems, you're going to go ahead and pull out your fragments from Tim Holtz's ideology. And try to do that as carefully as you can, obviously, because now see, this is the part that you're going to struggle with a little bit, because these are super solid, whereas with the circles, they're a little bendy, kind of not as hard plastic, so you know, you can hear it just a little. So obviously you have the different sizes of those. There's a small one. This one this is what you'll use for jaspers, or this one depending on how wide you want it to be. The smaller ones, you know, and so on and so forth. So I think I'm going to start with lapises. That'll be a pretty good one to go with. You just have to kind of like test it, see which size is going to be the best for which gem. So this one will work perfect for lapises. If you want, you can keep the whole thing on there, and if you don't feel like cutting it, I'm just going to leave it as is, because when I ask someone to attach this, I'm going to need them to use the, you know, use whatever they're using, and they won't, obviously you're not going to see that super well on your skin, obviously, since it's clear. So if you feel like cutting it, you can go ahead and do that. That's what your X-Acto and your scissors are also for. So you can go ahead and use those if you'd like to cut it, to trim it, etc., etc. If the X-Acto and the scissors do not work, I would suggest something a little thicker. Pliers might give you a little bit of rough edges. But let's go ahead and start with a couple of these, and then it should be good. So you're going to use a lot of your diamond glaze for this, since these aren't automatically sticky. You're going to put it on the color side of the gem, same as you did with the circle ones that were falling apart, if they do. But this one you want to put a little bit more, kind of spread it out, not so a little bit more than you would on the circle gems. And then press it on there pretty well, because again, you don't want those air bubbles. And you don't want to see the little bits and pieces of the glue on there. You might get your hands a little sticky, obviously, it's going to happen. But there's lapises, and you can see my computer screen, so please ignore that. So there's lapises. Like I said, when you put it on your skin, can't see it super well. If it bothers you, like I said, go ahead and cut it. So I will finish up with the rest of these and then finale. So again, I just decided to leave them like this, a little rough. So I'm going to cut them, trim them down, and then attach them. So for paradots, I'll probably use the same size one I did with Jaspers, but this time I'll put it this way. Diamond glaze, color side, spread it around. Push out those air bubbles. And when you're letting it dry, make sure you put it with the, not this, don't put this side down, right? Put this side facing down, so that way the glue doesn't attach to whatever surface you're working on, and then you got some serious problems. Your paper will probably stick to whatever surface you're working on as well. I'm currently working on my floor, so don't really want that on my carpet, do I? Okay, so now I have pearls. Hers I cut pretty perfectly just because I knew I was going to be too lazy to fix it later on. I will be using the same size I did with lapises and paradots. I am going to go ahead and pull one of the bigger ones I have for Jaspers, and then the broken one of lapises. Just because the sizes, you know, like, it's just, like I said, it's all about what size you want for whatever gem you're doing. So, with Jaspers, I do want it to be a little bigger, and with lapises, I want it to be the same size as the other one. But the other one is a different pattern. I pulled it from two different prints, so you can see how it's a little bigger, and I'm probably going to end up using a different size template. For Jaspers, I'm probably going to end up using one of the taller ones, and for the other one of lapises, I'll probably end up using a little bit of a square one, a more square shape. So let me trim those down, and then I will show you. Okay, so there's Jaspers. Like I said, find out whatever shape fits your fancy. For hers, I think I'm probably going to do a square-shaped one. Now, the way that I'm going to place it is like this, okay? So, this is one of the smaller squares. And like I said, it really just depends on what size square you have and what size print you have. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so there's how hers turned out. Like I said, that side down to dry. Now for Lapis's broken one. Ooh, I don't want that. Okay, so I am going to end up using a square one for this one as well. Like I said, same reason as before. I want it all to fit on there. Like, depends on the size. All of this is just based on preference. Again, size, shape, etc., etc. If you find another clear base you'd like to use that gives it that same 3D effect, feel free. You do not have to follow this to a T. Use whatever you have to your advantage. Plexiglass I didn't use, obviously, because it's extremely expensive, and I would rather be using it on something a little bit bigger of a project, you know, something like if you're a Homestuck, Dirk Strider's glasses. That's what I would use plexiglass for. So this is how this one turned out. Yeah, that's about it. I could do a couple other gems, like the mixed gem, the mutant one. You could do them a lot smaller. You'll have a lot of extra fragments, but it really just depends on how much money you're willing to spend. The fragments, I could probably look at the direct price for you. The fragments were $10 for the whole pack, but I had a 50% off coupon, so really it was only $5. The found objects, the circles, these bad boys, they were $4. So, I mean, it's not a super expensive project, and obviously printing paper, you know, you just pull from wherever in your house, you print off the gem templates, and then go for it. So, I'll give you a little overview of all the gems. Jaspers. There's Paradots. I have glasses I'm going to attach these to. Pearls. I'm actually going to be using this for rainbow quartz. Sorry, I'm going to be using that for rainbow quartz. Here's Lapis's Broken gem. I can't name all of these circle ones, to be quite honest. I could probably guess a little bit. Rubies, I believe. Sapphires. Stevens, I think, or garnets. I don't know. Garnets? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? And I think this is, actually, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe this is rainbow quartz as well. And then this is Lapis's regular gem. So, there you go. I ended up with about, 12 gems. I ended up with 12 gems. That's probably not all of them. Like I said, I have lots of extra fragments. I can always save these for, you know, a later gem project or any other type of project that you'll require these for. So it's great to have these. Again, you can use them for practically anything. Can't give you super good examples right now, but I'm sure there's something you can use them for. But that's about it. And if you're interested, you can check out my soon-to-come tutorial of Maka from Soul Eater. I'm going to be making her scythe very soon. Expect that tutorial within the next couple weeks. Hopefully I can get that done real quick. I have all the supplies I need for it as of right now. Feel free to subscribe. I would love it if you did. Sorry this was so long. I just wanted to, you know, get in every detail I possibly could to help you guys out. It was my first tutorial, so no hate. Only support and love. I would love some of that right now. But yeah, and if you're interested and you don't feel like making these, I do have a commissions page on Instagram, which I will have below. I will also have my my main Instagram account below as well. And that's just like my cosplays and other things. I will also have a link to my Tumblr. Unfortunately, I will not have a tutorial on Tumblr for this. Maybe just a link to this video, only because I didn't take pictures along the way to show each step in the process. I may or may not be making larger versions of these, just because, you know, because I'm going to end up selling them, I am going to need to make larger sizes just because of some people's personal preferences. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Subscribe to my channel, that'd be great. If not, leave positive comments below, how you liked the tutorial, criticism, and only, you know, good criticism, not like, oh, you suck, you did this wrong, like, oh, you could improve on blah blah blah. Anyway, thank you for watching this. If you decided to take you know, 25 minutes to watch this. I dearly appreciate that. And I really hope this helps you out with your cosplays, or whatever else you're using the gems for. So, thanks again, and subscribe again. Yeah, I really hope that, you know, this helps you guys out. If not, don't tell me. Alright, bye!